Okay. Hi guys, I'm May and this is Sam, and we are the co-founders of Eric, which is a community empowering young aspiring creatives on career and self-development. So it's probably safe to say that we've all been through rejection at some point in our lives. So Sam and I are actually going to do a mini workshop on how to deal with rejection. We've actually been through quite a lot of rejection recently. Because we've been looking for investment. And so we've had a lot of no's and they have hurt. And kind of learning the psychology behind it was really interesting because the brain actually reacts to rejection as it does to physical pain. So it's a survival method that that's been wired into us, into our kind of primal core. And so it's that feeling of not being part of a group. So the problem with rejection is that it is unavoidable, and annoyingly we're going to get it all at the time. And especially in today's world, I think with careers and trying to find a job, we really wanted to kind of come up with some things that you can do to prepare yourself more and to help soften the blow. So Sam is going to tell you 5 things that you can do to deal with rejection.
Yes, just to make it that little bit less painful. Okay, so point number 1. So positive affirmations. You may have heard of this before. It's kind of, I guess, made a bit of a comeback from the 80s, I think, recently. And it can be reciting positive mantras basically to yourself in the mirror, like every day, at the beginning of every day. So kind of a positive start to the day, but also it can be I guess telling yourself these positive mantras before you embark on something where you could get rejected on. So for example, if I was about to go into a job interview, I may well want to go into the bathroom and be like, Sam, you're great. Sam, you can rule the world, like these kind of things. And actually it has been proven that it makes people more effective and more confident, but it also means that in your head, you're reminding yourself beforehand of the reasons of how amazing you are and how unique you are and all of your best, most positive traits. And so if you do get rejected, it makes it just that little bit less painful. So I'd recommend researching positive affirmations, coming up with a list of positive affirmations that you can tell yourself.
Like sticky notes on your mirror or something.
Exactly. Yeah, there are lots of different techniques that people use. So point number 2, tell people around you what to say. So when you are rejected, in order to make that rejection slightly easier to deal with, that go-to person that you confide in, you can almost preempt that reaction that they're going to give you by literally being like, okay, when I get rejected, when I'm feeling down, and when I come to you being like, oh, I've just had something really sad or annoying or difficult happen to me, I want to hear this. I want you to tell me this. Different people want to hear different things when they're rejected, when they've gone through that process. So it depends on your personality. Some people want like the utmost sympathy, like, oh God, I'm so sorry. That's so awful. If there's anything I can do to help. Other people might want to have, advice all the time, being like, how can I make it better? Like, what do you think I did wrong? Again, lots of people don't respond very well to that. So it is really useful, I think, because everyone has that go-to person they confide in. And if they know exactly what you want to hear beforehand, they will be able to make you feel better. So set yourself achievable goals. Often when we go into situations, we're aiming for the end goal, right? And the end goal can be quite far away. So when someone rejects, you or says that, they're stopping you from getting to that end goal, you can actually, I guess that's quite hard to take. Whereas if you break up that journey into actionable steps, you can achieve like 4 different things before you're rejected at the 5. So every little step is a small win, and it can make that eventual rejection a lot easier to take, because you're like, oh, well, actually, I made it this far, and that was pretty fucking good. So just breaking it up into little easy, I guess, steps makes it a bit more digestible, I think. So I've actually put an example in the article that I've written. So for example, if you are looking for a job, Obviously the rejection that you might feel when people are like, oh, you're not right for this role, but thank you so much for coming in, thank you for applying. If you kind of lump all of those steps all together, just in terms of like, oh, I was just aiming for the end goal, and then you're like, well, I didn't achieve anything, then that can make the rejection a lot harder. Whereas if you're like, yeah, well, I did submit an application and I didn't get rejected. I did get a response from the application, and, you know, they said it was great. You know, when I went in for the interview, and they gave me feedback for the interview, they said I was an amazing person. But unfortunately, yeah, at the end, I didn't get the job. But all of those other steps, I managed to achieve what I wanted to. So that can be like a much better way, I guess, of looking at things and kind of minimizing that rejection or making it just a little bit less heavy.
And like sometimes when you get the rejection, at least you can now move on to the next.
Exactly. And then fourth, find an indulgence. So this is very simple. If you find rejection hard to take, just allow yourself a little treat every time you get rejected. So, for example, with our investment, the number of times that we've had a no is shocking, really. But, you know, if every time we have a no, then May and I are like, that's fine. We'll just go and, I don't know, go and get like an amazing, we'll go to our favorite like ice cream shop or something. That's really lame. That's not enough.
We did start to buy clothes, but then we were getting rejected so many times that our bank account couldn't deal with that.
Yes, exactly. It can make sure you do something affordable, otherwise it will get out of hand. Yeah, exactly. But find something that you really enjoy. Maybe it is like, you know what, I'm going to take the afternoon off work. I'm just going to go for a walk, go and do something really nice. I'm going to make myself feel a little bit better. Like offset the negative with a positive. And actually, you know, like I've said here, you might even end up looking forward to rejection. You're like, yes, I get the chance to go and buy a new outfit or whatever. And then finally, this is a long-term solution, really. Find out who you are. So if everyone finds rejection difficult for different reasons, aside from the fact, you know, that May pointed out to begin with, it is a primal instinct. It's impossible for us not to feel rejection. So you can't make yourself immune to it. I'm really sorry. But you can identify, I guess, the additional reasons that you find it quite difficult. So it might be that you had a really bad experience with, I don't know, like your first love, and it was really hard to take. And so you find rejection when it comes to dating really, really difficult. Identifying the specific areas, I guess, that the real heartache of rejection comes from can make it a lot easier for you to overcome later on. So working on yourself and making yourself, I guess, more getting a better perspective of why you don't like rejection can really, really help in the long run. So there are personality tests that you can do. We've written an article, and done a workshop already on how to heighten your self-awareness. So I would say that is a really good place to start, because there's a couple of personality tests in there and things, and I guess bits and pieces that might be useful. But therapy is really good. Not everyone can, you know, access therapy. Obviously, we're not saying that everyone needs to get therapy. But there is, I guess, free stuff out there on the NHS and, you know, things like that. So if you really think rejection is something you really, really struggle with, then, you know, you can always go down that route. So yeah, those are the 5 things.
Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully you've learned something about dealing with rejection. And if you did enjoy this workshop, we do actually have a whole series of career and self-development workshops on our website. So www.meet-eric.co. With all of the workshops, Sam has actually written an amazing article to accompany each workshop. So there is one with this one, and the link should be attached below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.